Hello and welcome back to the RamsTalkPodcast preview show. This week we have Middlesbrough coming to town to Pride Park, and it's going to be a big one. I think it's going to be an interesting one after the absence from the Championship. And to talk it all through with me, I've got Jonny from the Boro Breakdown Podcast. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you, mate. I'm really good. Melting because it's really hot right now, but I'm really good. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, we were talking just before we went live. I think it's probably one of the hottest days of the year to pick a recording. But I mean, we're doing it for the love of podcasting and the love of the club. So we'll try and get through it as quick as we can, and we'll start it off with how you feel your club is doing at the moment. How are you feeling with the Championship season and Middlesbrough with Carrick at the helm? Obviously, the first game of the season's done and dusted, a 1-0 win over Swansea. Just talk us through how you think Middlesbrough kind of sit going into the head of the new season.
Yeah, look, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. We've been building for a couple of years. To be fair, it's probably been a 3 or 4 year project to kind of get to the position we're in, and that still doesn't guarantee us like going up or smashing the league or whatever. I don't think we'll ever do that. But to be where we were maybe 5 or 6 years ago and spending stupid money on like a Sunderland, Rodriguez instead, Ashley Fletcher, and you got Tony Pulis managing, then you've got Neil Warnock, and that's not fun for anyone, So we brought in a head of football in Kieran Scott about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just revolutionised the way we've done transfers. We're selling people for actual profit now. We're making profit in the windows. We're bringing in players for a lot lower than what we ever have done, and we're selling them for profit, and we're building a really good squad. And it started off with Wilder. It's now progressing so well with Michael Carrick, and we're happy. It's nice to be in the position we're in, and many years ago you could have moaned about it, but right now, happy. We're in a good moment, and we're signing good players. Things feel like they're coming together, but that is very typical Boro for things to come together and then just spontaneously combust and fail within the space of a season. So I'm happy right now. I'm happy with Carrick, and we'll see where we get to probably come the end of the season.
Yeah, I think when you look at the entire season as a whole, I think when you look at last season and how it played out with regards to the kind of not how you petered throughout midway through the season, but also there was kind of ups and downs throughout the year. You probably agree with me in that, in terms of Carrick is a very, very good manager, up and coming. He's well respected. I mean, even on our preview for the season, we had a couple of lads say that you were kind of this season going into it, a kind of dark horse for the playoffs. And I think he has got your team working in a well-oiled machine at the moment. I mean, compared to last season and this season, do you feel there is a different expectation with how this last season went going into this season from a fan base perspective?
Yeah, well, the expectation last year was playoffs, to be honest, and this year be the same. So last year was a season of what ifs, definitely a season what ifs. So what could have happened? What if we didn't actually win a game until about 8 games in last year? So we were bottom of the league at one point, which was quite funny, given that the expectation was that we were going to do well. But we did lose a lot of players. Lost Cameron Archer, Jude Rackpalm, Ryan Giles, who could actually come back, Alex Mowat, Zach Steffen, and then we had to replace them with players that hadn't really played in the league before. And it took them time to develop. And, we finished the season really well. I think it was 1 defeat in about 14 in the end. Yeah. And we just seemed to progress. So this summer, we haven't had to delve into the market too much. So there's been a nice balance to the team. People obviously have played together for a while, and we've been doing a lot of work defensively as well, because we were a bit of a gung-ho team when Carrick first came in, and we've slowly started to get better and better defensively. But we will give away a good chance. We always do. It's just how we play. We play up from the back. But the expectation is, we got to do playoffs this year. It's kind of, we got to really, there's probably no excuses for us not to. The numbers look really good last year. We just didn't really get there in the league. That probably matters.
Yeah, and I mean, when you started off this season, as we mentioned at the very start of the show, quite strong. 1-0 win over Swansea at home. I mean, looking at stats, with the new Sky Sports deal, I managed to catch a couple of minutes of it flicking between games. But I mean, the stats, you look at it and you go 64% possession or thereabouts for Swansea, 36 for yourself. But the chances and on goal are all you. And I mean, that's kind of from a home performance quite surprising that you, and from a Carrick way of playing, again, for me as an outsider, it looks surprising. But for you, was that a surprising start to the season and how you played, and just talk through me how that win came about?
Yeah, so it's weird actually, because when we do play against these possession-based teams, we actually are. It probably suits us to an extent because we are a bit of a transitional team. Even though we play with a lot of the ball, a lot of our big chances come from the transition, really, or a team making mistakes. And what we've got a lot better at is probably pressing from the front with Laugh. Bit of a maverick, you know. You'll probably enjoy watching him. He definitely is a bit of a lunatic, but he's scoring a lot of goals at the moment. And we found that I think the game against Swansea is they were very. But they are going through a stage going back to the Swansea way, but they aren't fully confident from playing out from the back just yet, I think, under Luke Williams. I don't think they're as strong as they can be. And the way they were being really expansive when they were in possession, so it left a lot of space in the middle. So when we caught out a ball, we were pretty much in. So that's how we were able to create the chances that we did. And you know, it probably should have been more. I don't know if you've seen the Zai Jones not passing to Bergzorg and them two nearly want to punch each other on the pitch. Jones missed a chance in the first half as well. So it could have been a 4-0, 3 or 4-0 game, really, because Swansea didn't create anything apart from the chance that we give them where it was a bad pass from Morris and then they got in behind and it was a good save from Dieng to claw it out. But it was a really strong performance, to be honest. Definitely a bit of ring rust, but you'll get that probably 5 or 6 games in the season. But yeah, I was happy. I was really happy with it. It should have been more, but I'm just happy to win a game because it was the first time we've won a opening day game in about 10 years. So it was like, yeah. So it was a decade in the making. You know, really got there. You know, really kind of the 1-0 win. So, but no, overall, really happy with it. I think it was pretty much Swansea gave us the result more than we had to work really hard for it. So. Yeah, overall happy though.
I mean, you mentioned a name there, Latte Laugh. He's kind of tipped behind the scenes from outsiders to maybe be up there for a top goal scorer in the league if he carries on the form he ended in last season. I mean, would you say for Derby fans listening to this and even Middlesbrough fans, is he going to be the lead guy, the danger man for Middlesbrough this season, or do you reckon it might come from elsewhere, from maybe the midfield or whatever?
Yeah, he can't knock his goal scoring record at the minute, can you? I think it was 7 consecutive league goals in a row. I think they broke up the weekend. So he's just a man in full of confidence. He really is. I think it's weird saying an opposition team would enjoy him, but I think you will. I think you'll see him. He'll make these crazy runs in behind. He's really quick. You know, he likes to press the defense. I think if you've got anyone slow at the back, they might have a difficult time.
Oh God!
Yeah,
we've got a couple.
So look, the aim will be to get him behind, right? So he's a really good and fun player to watch. He's definitely quite fun, and I hope he does well this year for us. But there's quality across the pitch. You know, Finn Azaz is widely regarded across the league as a really creative player, and he is. Isaiah Jones is similarly likes to get down the line. Riley McGree's been really good. And Micah Hamilton is someone that we haven't seen any of yet, but when I've been doing my research, he reminds me a little bit of what we had with Morgan Rogers last year, even though it was for about 4 or 5 months. Just someone who can take a man on and, you know, really get him behind. He looks a really quick player. So there's a bit of pace, there's adding more layers to us in terms of creativity, but yeah, I think Latte Laugh is probably the guy, to be honest. I feel like a lot of people enjoy him. He's just a lovable rogue, really, and that's all I can say about him, to be honest. So we'll see how he does. You know, it's a championship, and like anything can happen. You guys be up for its first home game of the season, so we'll see what happens. To be honest, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, as you say, we're one game in. Anything can happen over the next coming weeks, but You mentioned Hamilton there, a new signing from Manchester City. Comes with a lot of interest from other clubs because he was kind of under the radar in terms of the way it happened. It might not be for you guys, but in terms of the way it came about, it was quite quick and quite a swift transfer. Just talk me through what you know about him. You mentioned briefly there a little bit, but someone coming from Manchester City's academy setup can't be half bad, can they?
Yeah, and look, there's not much on him, to be honest, Callum. There really isn't. When I was jumping into Y-Scout, there was about 5 or 6, 7 clips that you could really look at from him and to get a picture of him. What I can probably say from the data that, or the view that I got, was he's a direct player. He can float into the midfield like we like our left winger to do, but also he gives you that dynamic route of staying wide if you want to. And he reminded me of Morgan Rogers just because of last year when Rogers came in. He was a bit of like he was a bit of a dribbly boy, to be honest. He liked to take the ball at the defender, run on one-on-one. I think that's where you get the best out of him. So I'm intrigued to see how we utilize him, to be honest. People are saying that we could use him as a replacement for Isaiah Jones. He has that competition, and I think he might. And also, he's got the ability to play on that left-hand side and come inwards and be confident with that, and then also really stay wide if he needs to. So, but there isn't much on him at all, which kind of makes it exciting. But also on the flip side, you go, well, is he going to be consistent? Is he going to be a bit of a maverick? Is he going to be too rash? I want to play it down, but the deal's really good for us. It was less than 2 million. City have got a 20% selling clause naturally. They've got a buyback for like 20 million. So hopefully you get profit from it. You're developing the profit, and that's what you want, isn't it? From a team like us, you just want to make sure that you become a profitable team, and hopefully we can do that with him. But yeah, I can't really say too much. I really tried to find as much as I can, but it's just difficult. He's only got that goal against the Red Star Belgrade, a few clips here and there from the pre-season, a couple of from the under 18s. And that's about it. But then there's not much first team football in there, is there? So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited by it though.
Well, an unknown entity, but one that's not is Clark, kind of a known figure to Derby fans with his small stint with us, and he kind of went under the radar a little bit with us in terms of how well he did, in my opinion. I thought he was really, really assured in his tenure with us, but I think his career's kind of never really took off, which I thought it was going to do. I thought he was going to maybe flick around that low Premier League end of the table, but he's kind of come back down to the Championship. He was with West Brom for a period of time. He's then with yourselves. How, just for Derby fans, how's he getting on? Is he kind of now a mainstay at the back in terms of your defence?
Yeah, definitely is now. Definitely is. We came under Chris Wilder, and then he played about 5 games, and then he was out for about a year and a bit with a back injury. And you thought you probably wouldn't see him again, to be honest, because it was a really bad back injury. I don't know what it was in terms of like a nerve or whatever it was. And he came back against Leeds, and you go on to Welland Road, your first game back, someone's just been taken off injured. And like, how's your luck? Try and get yourself back into it. And he struggled for that first game. He couldn't actually do it, but since then, he's been brilliant. He really has been brilliant. He's got better and better and better. And I'm similar to what you were saying there, Callum. He's definitely a Premier League defender or a lower league Premier League defender. He has the ability. He might not have the pace, but comfortable on the ball, good in the air, strong. Exactly what you need from like a kicker type centre half, but he also has a good passing as well. And I remember under Chris Wilder, he was doing bloody overlaps, so it was absolutely madness. Seeing like a 6'4" defender doing an overlap, but he's doing brilliantly well. He's paired up with Rav Vandenberg, who is tipped to be a really top centre back and looks great at the moment. But I don't want to put any pressure on him because he just looks comfortable and good.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good, Matt Clark. Really happy with him. I couldn't ask for any more, because if you asked me a year ago, I thought I'd be gone by now.
Yeah.
But now I wouldn't sell him for anything. I'd keep him. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does. To be honest, he's bound to put on like a clanger or something against his former team.
More than likely.
Yeah. So we'll see how he gets on.
On the flip side, for yourself coming into Saturday, is there any player from Derby that you are maybe a little bit hesitant of coming up against? Is there anyone that kind of comes off the page to you and goes, not looking forward to that? Or are you looking at it going, you know what, we might be all right?
No, like it was weird. I was doing a bit, like I was looking at a bit of Derby's team, and I was going, this team's a bit like quite an experienced side. This, like, just a lot of players who have been around for a while, and there's one player, right, who stands out. And it's not because he might be the best player in the Derby team, but it's because he recently played for Middlesbrough. It's Mendes Lang, right? So when he played for Boro and Neil Warnock, right, and he was all right. He wasn't like anything special. He was out for a while when Neil Warnock brought him in, like a very Neil Warnock sign, by the way.
Yeah.
And I just think he's going to score. I just think, it's typical that a player who's used to play for us will probably put one in the back of the net. And I just can't. I just don't want it to happen. And that's the weird thing, Derby have an okay group. They definitely need to add to it, but I don't know what the finances are like at Derby at the moment, which I appreciate for the last couple of years being quite difficult for you, but you need to keep adding. But for that one player, I think that Mendes Lang's probably the one where I'm thinking, oh my God, like this could be like he's going to come up and score against his former team. It's just a given, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's come off the back of his best season in terms of goal scoring record. We do love him here. He's just sometimes it can be hot and cold with him sometimes, but he did look good against Blackburn in small pockets. So hopefully, but from our perspective, but just looking a little bit closely at Saturday, how do you? We were talking about much earlier in the episode about how you obviously took Swansea on and kind of let them have the ball, but still came away with a lot of chances. How do you reckon it will flip on its head when you go away from home? Do you reckon you'll still sit off and let us have the ball, even if maybe we won't want the ball sometimes because we're quite a counter-attacking transition team?
Yeah, I think we'll be more dominant on the ball. I definitely think that, if we have the chance to be a bit more assertive on the ball, we will be.
Yeah.
There's a feeling in my mind that I don't think you'll play the same system as you did against Blackburn. I think you might move to maybe that 4-2-3-1 or in matches in midfield, rather than the 4-3-3, because I thought there was just too much space. I felt against Blackburn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was quite poor in the end, but I think it was one of those welcome back to the game. Things ring rust, and I don't think you'll have another defeat like that for a while again this season. And I think we'll be more comfortable with the ball. I think we'll create chances. We do create a lot of them, but we miss a lot of them. I think we were second last year for biggest chances missed. So we'll miss a few, definitely, if we get the chance to do it. So I think we'll be comfortable, but it is the Championship. You guys are very good at set pieces. We weren't good at set pieces last year. So that could be the part of the game where I think that you guys will come into it and create some really good opportunities. So we'll see how it goes, to be honest. But I can see your face light up when I mention set pieces.
Set pieces.
Yeah, it could be the game changer for you, to be honest.
Go on then. Give Derby fans some hope. Are set pieces going to be the ever lights that's going to give Derby fans some hope against you on Saturday? Or is there something that maybe Swansea did find out a little bit in terms of weakness in Boro at the moment? Is there anything that you can see and going, if a team comes up against us and does X, that could cause us some issues this season?
Yeah, like there's probably one team you want to look at, to be honest, who absolutely nullifies us, and it's Coventry. It's every time we play them, we just seem to struggle. I don't know what it is, to be honest, but we've tried to adopt something similar, I would say, so it might not happen this year. Hopefully it doesn't. I really don't want it to. Sick of Mark Robbins beating us. But for me, the set pieces probably will play a big part in it. It's because we're your most dangerous, right? And I think if you want to play Hamilton, who's quite small, Isaiah Jones, small, light laugh, quite small. So there's some small players in the team, but I think defensively with Matt Clark and Rav van den Berg, they were quite tall. You do get away with it, but you will get a chance. Middlesbrough give chances away. We have done since Carrick came in the building. We would rather win a game 5-4 than we win 1-0, which is ironic given we just won 1-0 in the last game. So if it wants to be a topsy-turvy game, it'll probably play into our hands a little bit more. But the aim for Derby should be to frustrate us, try and work the set pieces, get the ball in the box, make it difficult, and just stop the rhythm of the passing, really. And that's all you can do. And I think if you do that, you might get something probably at the end of the game, to be honest.
And just before I ask you for your prediction for Saturday, what's your prediction for Middlesbrough this season? For anyone listening, what do you think the end goal is for this team in the way they've started this season? Where could they go?
Yeah, if you ask a lot of Boro fans, they'll say you want to get promoted this year, don't you? And doesn't everyone? Do you know what I mean? I want us to get playoffs, to be honest. I think that's kind of the expectation this year. I think we have to get it. If we don't, then it might be another year where you're thinking, oh, God, will it ever happen again?
Yeah.
And we've got the players to do it. There's some good enough players there. I think Hackney could make the move up to the Premier League. Laf can definitely do it. Finazaz probably, maybe not. But there's some Brad van den Berg, definitely Premier League quality. So there's definitely quality in the group. It's just if we don't do it this year, we might lose them. So yeah, I'm going to go with playoffs probably for the season goal, I think. But if we get there, great. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah, and going look a little bit closer, what do we think the prediction is for Saturday in terms of scoreline? What are you going for, Jonny?
I'll probably go 3-1 Middlesbrough. I think Derby will score first, though. Will score first.
Okay. And so any particular goal scorers for Middlesbrough?
I want to go Latte Laugh just because he keeps scoring at the minute, and that's the given, isn't it? I think Latte Laugh, Finazaz, and Isaiah Jones, I think, will be our scorers. And yeah, we'll see. But I do think that it'll be something stupid that it's a game that we should win, we don't. So I wouldn't be shocked if Derby won 1-0, to be honest, with like the only shot on target. Because Rotherham was the fine example last year. We had about 30 chances and then they scored off a cross. So, and like an XG of 0.01 or something. And that was the XG was like 0.09 for Rotherham and they won 1-0. So yeah, it might be one of those. So it could be anything, to be honest, Callum. It could be anything, but hopefully 3-1.
Hopefully 3-1. Well, I'll stick with the one I gave in yesterday's episode. I'll go with 1-1. Won't go that confidence. And I'll go with a equaliser from a set piece, as we've alluded to. It might be our only chance by the sounds of it. So I'll go with another Curtis Nelson goal. We'll get him to be the top goal scorer for Derby at the moment with 2 goals.
How old's Curtis Nelson now, by the way, Callum?
He's got to be in his early 30s, I think. But he moves. He doesn't move like one. Put it that way. He can shift for a guy his age and his size. I mean, but we are in the realms for quicker defenders. We are linked with a few at the moment. I think that's what Warren wants, just some more pace at the back, because he wants to play 3 at the back. Whether that happens this weekend, we'll wait and see, because he played 4 on Friday night. So we'll see what he does against you guys at home. But Jonny, I really appreciate your time and for coming on. If we've got any Middlesbrough fans listening to the preview, where can they find you? More than likely, they know where you are by now, but go and give yourself a little shout out.
I hope so. But yeah, you can find us at the Boro Breakdown podcast. Just search it on your social media platforms and your podcast provider on YouTube, and you'll be able to find us there.
Brilliant. If anyone did enjoy, please do leave a like. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find us on Apple Pod, Spotify. You know where to find us by now. And we'll see how it all plays out on Saturday. Thanks again, Jonny.